In the 1970s, early 70s, I had a unique experience which has only happened once again, and that was some 30 years later. But I'd been meditating in my house in Oakland, which was down in the basement, my meditation room, and it was an intense meditation. It was a good meditation. It was a long one. I finished it, and I sat there, and I opened my eyes, and I realized that I wasn't alone. I felt something or someone watching me intensely. And I saw the room was lighting up brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And so I looked up to the left, just above my head, towards the ceiling. And there was this sphere, this orb. I don't even know a word for it, but it was like a small miniature sun about the size of a basketball. At least that's what it appeared to me in the room. And it was like bright light the light should have blinded me, but this bright light just sparked out of there, spheres coming out of there. It was like a piece of crystal light, and it was just shining, and it was just kind of hovering and kind of vibrating, and I just stared at it. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't think about, wow, what's this? Nothing. I just sat there, bathed in pure light and love. And all I could feel was this energy going up and down my spine, a tingly, like a helicopter going up and down my side of my body. It was like, and I just felt so embraced by this light, by this orb, the sphere, whatever it was. And I had no questions. I didn't care about anything. How long I looked at it, how long was I absorbed in this, I don't know. I didn't have a clock in front of me. It felt like it was 5, 10, 20 minutes, half hour. I couldn't tell. There was no time. But I did feel loved. And I kept looking up at it. And then all of a sudden, there's this massive sonic boom sound vibrating through my whole body and my surroundings. And these shards of like glass. The light was like glass exploding. And these shards of light were penetrating my head, my forehead, my top of my head, my heart, my body, all around me. It was like a giant fireworks display where they go, it sparkles everywhere. And it was just shards of this glass-like crystal light. And it was just bathed me until finally all the little shards disappeared into me and around me. And I just sat there absorbed in the quiet. I felt so loved, so at peace, but I didn't know what it was. So I finished. I went upstairs to my house and my children and my wife, and thinking they were all upset, wondering what this explosion was. And of course, nobody heard that sound but me. And so I kind of wondered what that was. And then about 30 years later, when I was getting ready to write about that experience, I was going to put it in a chapter of my book, and I was going to write a poem about it. And I was thinking, well, I missed an opportunity. But if that ever happens again, I should ask who or what it is, what the mission was, what the purpose was, why they were there. Do they know me? Have we met before? Is it an intelligent life? Is it a vehicle of some kind? Is it a projection? Is it, what is it? Something coming from me? Something from outside of me? Something from another dimension? I had all these questions, and I wrote them down. I had about 30 questions. I said, well, if something like this ever happens again, I'm going to ask all these questions. And just as I finished writing all the questions, I felt somebody looking at me. Now, I wasn't meditating. I had been working on my computer, writing, typing on the screen. And I felt something looking at me. I felt that same love and bliss again. And I looked up to my left, just right up the ceiling, and there's this basketball-sized sphere, orb, kind of vibrating, the light just shining out of it like a small sun. And I felt so loved, so at peace. I had no questions, none. Nothing would there was no thoughts in my mind at all. It was just, wow. And I just sat there and absorbed the light and the love. Now, you gotta realize the light coming from this orb was brighter than any light that you could imagine. It should have been blinding. It should have been like looking at the sun. It should have blinded me, but it was, I could still see it, but it was just so white. And I sat there for an unknown amount of time, totally feeling loved. And this energy up and down my spine returned. I was vibrating all over. I was feeling such great peace. And not one thought in my mind about, hey, what are you? Who are you? Nothing. Just love. And I just accepted it. It was like I knew who and what it was and why it was there at some level, and it didn't need an explanation. And love never needs explanation. And that's what I felt, love. And then it repeated itself. It exploded. Boom, there was a sonic boom. This energy, just shock waves, was like, wow. And shards of light, this glass-like, crystal-like sphere just sparkling like fireworks all over and penetrating my forehead and my top of my head and my hands, which were outreached, and my chest and my heart and my legs, just all over. It was painless. In fact, it was blissful. It was like the light was entering me as a form of light and love. And wherever it penetrated, I felt great bliss. And it finally just sparkled all out. And I sat there for a long period of time. And then I went downstairs to just inquire if anybody heard anything. Of course, this 30 years later, and still nobody heard anything. So it was my own personal experience. What it was, I don't know, but it felt like a true visitor from someplace or somewhere or from within. I don't know. But it wasn't a stranger if it was an intelligence, because I kind of felt that there was an intelligence with this thing. It didn't feel like a machine or just a projection of light. It felt like an intelligent being. It just felt like it was an intelligent source of some kind. This light had energy, but it also had intelligence. It had spirit. I don't know. I can't explain it to this day. But I have all these questions written down, and if it ever comes again, I'll be certainly to ask it all the questions, so next time I do another video, I can tell people, hey, here's what it's about, here's where it's from, here's what... I got a feeling, though, if and when it ever shows up again, that it's going to be the same exact experience. When you're loved, there are no questions. And when you're in the presence of great love, all you can do is open your heart and receive.